Good morning, folks. It's 10:30 a.m. on the 29th day, 4th month, 2023. What I'm looking at here is a Yeovil next red station beaming a storm front around itself in a line like this. And it's met a heated outflow on the coast here, and it's going to slide down. It's kind of an obvious beaming event that's going on. You also have some beaming going on from Maury, directing the storm front down as well. It might have normally come across the coast this direction here. It will not, due to the heated outflows of these glitches here that they say are just a glitch. But they're actually created clouds and heated outflows that will prevent this from coming to the coast and will make this much more of a disastrous, dangerous line of storms that will get tendrilled down over Sydney, Wollongong, and south, and brought over to New Zealand. And it'll eventually find its way to Yeovil. As you can see, the glitches are full on here. Gympie, Taro, Gladstone. We couldn't get much over obvious here. Emerald is blasting. Right as I move a line. You've got all the corridors of heated flow. Have made sure nothing comes across the plains into this direction and out to sea. Right? It has all been directed and turned. A giant low pressure system turning in, all based on what's going on down here. This flow here is an oddness. It's very, very odd. But it needed to happen to direct the storm here. It had a dangerous pop-up going on right now off the coast of Newcastle. And people need to be wary of, because they've just let a load of bombs off. Yeah, they're bombing it into existence now. And so this is a point where you'll be watching. I bet that's dramatic out to sea. Ooh, what a light show they'll be getting. And when they look out to the east. But this is eventually going to make its way down in towards Sydney and them. And when that meets that, from this flow coming from down here, I'll show you. Well, you can't quite see it here. And I'll go on to the weather plan. You'll see it. You got these flows down here. When it's meeting this cooler air, it's all been brought away from the country. It's held out to sea. And it's brought into the moist here. It's going to kick off some more storms up that direction. New Zealand, this is your second batch that I'm looking at here. This is the Star Wars Day, and may the 4th be with you this day, because this is your it's the most dangerous line that's going to be impacting your North Island. As far as I see it, is here on late in the day on the 4th, your time. Yeah, this is my time at 1 o'clock in the morning, so this puts you in the afternoon on Star Wars Day. When they use their Star Wars Defense Initiative type weapons, invisible microwavy things and lasers and stuff to modify the weather, batten down the hatches, close your arc door. It's going to be a bumpy ride. I'm not seeing a bunch of thunderstorms. This looks like just a very long, sustained rain event that's coming to New Zealand, and I'll cover you here shortly, because the totals are they're hard to report. It's taken a lot. Now, we've had a terrible loss to the community last night. I don't know if anybody follows Mike Morales from Above Ground World knows, but he succumbed to his cancers, and my heart goes out to his family at this time of grieving. Just what else can I say? He's one of my heroes that keeps me going. Really, we're at a loss. I don't know who covers the United States weather, but they got some big shoes to fill. Big shoes to fill. So I'm going to take a moment here. What more needs to be said that he didn't say? It was our second radio show I ever did on Coast to Coast, was Mike's show. They approved chemtrails. We ran with that information. Look at these chem bands streaming over. I believe we're in the Darwin area now. So I'm a bit emotional this morning. The guilt never sleeps. We have to report this stuff. Something came along in a line and deployed chemical catalyst bombs in your sky. See the squares? See the dots? You can't make this up. Well, you could make it up, but would you? That big N right there in the skies. Nasty. N for nasty. N for Nazis. When people do not see things. Look at that. Is a baseball field out here? Compass is square much? As the bombs go across, toxifying the land, making malaise the norm. As they say, there's some new variant around to make you sick. I see new sickness mix in the air. I see toxified lungs having problems breathing, which is going to dis-ease. It's going to cause cellular breakdown, which will trigger a stupid test to tell you how stupid you are. You know, if you're healthy, that's a great thing. And it's called being asymptomatic. And if you think asymptomatic means you're sick, it's called hypochondria. Attention seeking. And it looks like the clock pointing there. It is time to react because of all these bombs reacting in the atmosphere is a terrible, terrible thing. Look at that. Get more geometrical formation in that. Somebody says cumulus cloud. I said accumulated cash cow cloud because somebody's making a fortune off of this. Absolute fortune. At the expense of our health. As I look here up the coast of where the Great Barrier Reef is, right here. Totally smashed. Absolutely smashed. The whole sky. No sunshine for you. Chemical soup for you. The soup Nazi. The sky Nazi. Chemical soup for you. No truth for you. Seems to be the world, and how many different front lines they get streamering up because the microwaves have demanded certain actions occur, creating certain flows. As the bombs go off and they're met by the microwaves, pinning a storm toward the south, right turn Clyde, right at Yeovil, and right over the top of your ass is here, and you gon' cap it. And over the next 36 hours, you can expect some fairly heavy totals down that corner. I'll show you now. The accumulations that are being shown are high. Extremely high. And a bit dishonest. One says this, one says that, one says this. Rabdi says you're fucked. Okay? You're along this line here. You're going to see 12 to 18 centimeters of rain. Most likely in the next 36 hours. See? As it moves across. Then you'll get another batch of just regular rains coming in on the 10s as they work another tendril across. Another area of interest on the 10s is the Can corridor. They can't make their minds up which one of you they're going to fuck. Is it going to be Port Douglas or Innisfail? It never fails, does it? That you just have to stay vigilant in a rainy season. But it looks like you're getting a few days breaks coming on, and you should enjoy them very much while you can. You got 2 batches coming through. And a second storm. The second storm is going to be more prolonged. I'm seeing dueling spinners, actually. I'm seeing the second batch on May the 4th coming down as a spinner. It's not good. It kind of looks like she's going to walk this side of the island. And when it walks that side of the island, she always wets Napier through this corner down here. That little feature down here. Always gets wet. The can opener. It is the can opener. You hooked that in the lid, yeah. If New Zealand was a can opener, here you go. That's the can. Right there at the nose. Achha. Hey, Napier, how are you doing? Hey, it looks like you're getting a bit of a break from the first batch, thank God. But it's not such a thank God for what they're bringing across the country. As they're slating 0.5 meter of rain for you, and I seen some stats that head over. You ready for this one? Ouch. There's a screenshot I took late last night. It's showing 80 centimeters. It's feet. It's feet of water that they have slated to come your way. That I don't think they're being fully honest with the totals here. This is going to be absolutely disastrous after this valley area is here. You're going to get it, and the tip up here is absolutely going to cap it in a line like this, as they bring all this over into Auckland over the next 24 hours. This storm is camping out. I ain't going nowhere. It needs evicting. It's going to need an eviction notice by the time it's all over. Let me show you some of the slated paths. I can put the pressures on. It just makes things look more dramatic, and I don't want to beat this in your guys' ease. So this one here has the closest accurate path. What I see is how it's going to come in. I don't see its totals as being accurate as far as rain goes. But this is fairly accurate. Then I'm going to have to hand off on Monday to a different one because I'm not in agreement. I see it coming down. It's trying to go out this way and around. This is coming over to meet it, pushes it back. It's going to slate south and move back north. So strange motion is going to happen with this storm. It's not going anywhere anytime soon. You can absolutely expect wetnesses. If you've got a rain barrel that you've been collecting water in your yard, now's a good time to change its water, because you'll have plenty going through it. You just scrub it out. My God. That's another moment here that we're going to be keeping a good eye on when it releases this through the strait. I'm not fully agreeing that it ain't coming into eyes at all. Some of that has to come up and in here. So again, I'm disagreeing with this forecast that they're showing us. I do that very often. My God, look at that. That's our tendrils, by the way. Each one of them is packing a wallop. And some of that actually is going to move back north towards this direction here. It's going to do a crazy motion, which is fairly accurate, because when you get pressures that look like this, right, your bubble up corridor is through here, right, where the highs will play upon each other. And as you see the process of dissolution and dissolving into that one while this one strengthens it. So if they heat that back up with a microwave here, and I expect it to happen, you got another situation right here. John, I'm doing a video. I'll be down in a minute. I'm going to wrap this up as quick as I can. He has to understand I do work. He's throwing my... hang on, give me a minute. I'm going to just run this on the long term and let you have a look and find out what's going on. So let's put it on the rain and thunder rumbler. I'm gonna run the entire what's going on at 1 hour intervals. I'll find out what's going on. I'll be right back. So this is what they say is going to happen. Let me move this up. You can see it better, and I'll find out. John, I'm in the middle of video, Nate. What's going on? Alrighty then. It was not necessary. Alright. Now as you can see, you've read through see how long it takes me to load screens? Yeah, I already ran these. You got a lot of air coming up from Antarctica here. You see this super low down here, the 966. Everything's leaning that way. That thing's going to control the show for this localized area. As you face with this one coming over, which is lower, and face into that one, which is lower, and it's also going to be affecting your weather, and it's just about to come under Africa now. One big beam will pop that over Antarctica, give it the shortcut it needs to come up much quicker. We do have a lot of motion coming across Antarctica right now. That one tendril right here is about to come out and interfere with these two as these bubble in the high on that direction. We have some very interesting flows going on down there in your southern oceans. Okay, where was I? Yeah, this is a bad time. Very, very bad time for New Zealand, which I'm pretty much going to concentrate on because most of the action for New South Wales in the corner is about to occur over the next 36 hours. And you'll be expecting some hellacious conditions actually along your coastline. It's not slated to be super electric, and I don't understand how. Because of all the flows and all the chem that I was seeing deployed, like you'll see down here. It's going to make this very electric. So it's something in the dynamics is going to change. And it's going to take the ions of that and move it across into another storm system, because it's like a little wire this here, and it can very much control the electrical flow by merging it closer to ground in one area than another. It makes the flow want to go towards that grounded area. These things that I've noticed. Right, we got bombs going to crash here. You got microwaves frying the far north. Bzzz, cooking up the freaking sugar cane, cooking the canes. But it ain't the first time our oppressors be cooking up some cane. Yeah, they seem to like that. And let me look over here in the tropics now. Let's see what's been going on here north of New Zealand. Oh, big fields of bombs just fueling this here. So we got one here. Excuse me a minute. Boom! 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Just bombing up this thing, keeping the catalyst going wherever it's needed. Look at the triangle right here. Just add moisture. All that's doing is just keeping moisture in the atmosphere. One big cell to bunch into the others. Big squares on the edge right here. There's lots of bombs going off, and what they say is the center of circulation, and all I see is bomb, 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 bomb. The vortices, typical of a femtosecond laser type movement. Whether that's your Star Wars stuff that I may the fourth be with you kind of thing. I wasn't kidding. Boy, gosh, look at all the chem streamering over the North Island and through Cook Strait right now. Boom, boom, boom! Go to plumes over New Plymouth. And Plymouth Rock is landing on you in the form of nanoparticles. They just ground that rock right on that. Have some oppression, have some agenda, land grabbing. We want your land. They want it bad. They want it, want it, want it. They want projects. They want you not on it while they're doing it. They want smart cities full of stupid-ass people that have smartphones to make them add validity to their existence. Look, I got a like from something I'll never know, rather than liking the existence they live. What a fucking shame. As they watch the agenda barons close in on New Zealand again, getting ready to flood some people out, tell them they can't rebuild entire neighborhoods, probably be not allowed. You're in a floodplain for the good of all. For the good of who? The good of the profit. You know what a country's private interests are? The corporate investors, right? National interest, they call it. Meanwhile, they say you have national trust. Well, we don't trust it at all. We have a banker system full of wanker people. All they're out to do is designed to make money for themselves and how to take it from us. And meanwhile, I'm watching a geostorm bearing down on New Zealand, kicking some, oh my God, terrible, terrible totals that are going to be impacting these poor folks. So you want to look at who's fucked and who's not. I mean, this is one of these ones that's really, it's becoming a difficulty for me to report all the time. I'm going to have to hit a refresh on this. There we go. It wasn't showing me the accumulations. So right, over the next 24 hours, and breathe, right? This is important, but then the tip is getting wet. And over the threes, you're in the middle of it now. You're in the thick. Your water is running. Your streams are swollen. Your dreams are going out to sea, and it keeps going. Then another tendril is going to come down around the fourth, and it keeps going. And expect these totals to rise, because that tendril is long, sustained, and coming your way. It is. My God, these poor folks. They're saying the tendrils are more impacted, more concentrated on the tens. All I know is fucked is fucked. And it's in, it's in. Rape is rape. Whether it's the tip or whether it's balls deep, you guys got fucked. You're getting a geostorm and then right behind it on the tens. I'll show you the pressures. It's not a good moment going on here. Not a good moment going on at all. Because look at the split on the island here. This is coming your way. As that comes through, with the force of this is going to pull that through, kick that moisture around, and that's when Napier in this area is going to get fucked. That's when you're going to have problems. There's no way with a pressure read like that's not going to happen. It's going to pull that up and then around. It's going to take a beam. It looks like that's what they plan to do. It's going to take a beam to separate that tendril, so this is free to wrap around itself and move its low out, so this low can move in. This is a very long, sustained flooding event. You are going to get wet. You're going to get used to it. Don't be an idiot down on the shore with an umbrella. Right? You Mary Poppins yourself, or Peter Pan yourself across the sky. That's your idiocy. My God. You poor folks. The mold issues in your lungs alone have got to be terribly, terribly toxic. And you start adding chemical catalysts like acids to already inflamed mucosal linings of lungs, you guys are going to have some very bad breathing problems, New Zealand, and my heart goes out to you. My God. I was looking at the worldview today. It was one in north of New Zealand, was rather interesting. Well, it was quite a few, actually. First is the flow over here at Harvey Bay. Right, look at the square over under the square. Now that gets this turning. Right, corner there, corner there. This corner's like a spread clutch. That'll get that turning. And they all stop in a straight line. Right, give or take a few miles. It just has that look. When you zoom way back, it looks like you got smashed like a shitstorm. You have so many microwaves manipulating the center of the storm barrel down in New Zealand right now. It's too obvious, the weather manipulation. It just is. Very, very obvious. My gosh. Even you zoom in on the low deck down here. There's a minute of this guy that had a moment's rest. Old curler out there in square forms with bombs 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 there. Cluster bomb inside this field that has been blown out with microwaves. Okay, so it had that particular look to it. Go down the middle of this gap here. All we see is chemtrail, bomb, field of bombs that have been deployed to manipulate the weather. If I go out here to the center of what the fuck, and it's north of New Zealand, you zoom in, where is theirs? All I see is the microwaves in the top of the clouds. Through the low deck, just all over the show here. See the basic square form to that. See the field of bombs up here. Going off. Being deployed to manipulate the weather, to hold the moisture in the earth, to continue the dynamics that bring that storm where it is wanted by the agenda barons. Agenda 2030 land grab classic. And the flying monkeys are out there doing whatever they're programmed to do. Droning on and on and on for years about this topic. Meanwhile, you deny you see a square out here, you deny chemical catalysts. Have you forgotten what natural clouds have looked like? I think you have. Some have never seen it. And as I look to the top of the North Island here, look at the weather manipulation. It's not naturally occurring. Too many directions of the wind. Now you guys got fried and blasted specifically with microwaves. This would be very easy to do with one of them planes that has the radars on it. An AWACS plane could do this very easily in swaths like this. They'll just think you're scanning this storm. Hurricane hunters beaming it up, not even knowing the harm they're doing, most likely, I'd like to think. As I look at all these chemtrails streaming across the island, from one island end to the other. Look, these are chemtrails. Like you needed any more clouds today. Like you needed some more sickness mix off the coast of Kaikoura. Over here. Look at the blast here. We see you microwaving it. Bzzz, getting fried, Christchurch style. That's right, it's a blast. A blast from the past coming for your ass. Meanwhile, the toxic skies continue to fly into New Zealand, streamer after streamer of payload, creating clouds, geoengineering your world. How's your breath today? This is some oxygen-stealing stuff out there. Even by proxy, the plants ain't photosynthesizing and giving off enough oxygen properly when they're blocking the sun. This is stupid. But you know, in a world where we seem to do so much for good health and we don't look up in the sky and see the bad health descending upon us, you ain't got good oxygen to breathe, you will die sooner in life. Your cells will die sooner in life. And well, whether you believe in geoengineering or not, it can kill you anyhow. It can kill you anyhow. We are not designed to be breathing these heavy metals that have to be processed by a factory. That's sickness mix over my ocean. Coming over Chemstrea. Booming, pluming, bombing. Their daily task. I say no. I say this is wrong. I say I do not consent. Do you consent? This is rape. This is putting something in our bodies against our permission. It's water, so it's fluid. This deception is not immaculate. Boom, boom, boom! Was that trident over there? Chemtrail. That was spread out really, really wide and didn't dissipate. Come on, you people getting conned by contrail definition. You don't be a numbnut. Well, why is this different color than that? Because it's got different stuff in it, refracting light different with its ice crystals. That's why. And this is streaming really high up. You can see its vapors going right over the top of this cloud mass, right on out to sea. Dissimilar metals next to each other can and do conduct electricity and often generate electricity. That's right. Corrosion on a radiator, anyone? You know, Pac-Man out here to see. Waka, 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 waka. Boom, boom. My God, what a shit show. So I've ran your totals. I've ran what you can expect. And that's all I can say about this for today. I have some things to do downstairs. All right, big love, people. Be safe. I'll come back on in a few for a Q&A. We got this. Big love. Peace.